If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. Ferrari is a 2023 American biographical sports drama film directed by Michael Mann and written by Troy Kennedy Martin, based on the 1991 biography Enzo Ferrari, The Man, the Cars, the Race, the Machine by motorsport journalist Brock Yates. The film follows the personal and professional struggles of Enzo Ferrari, the Italian founder of the car manufacturer Ferrari, during the summer of 1957 as Scuderia Ferrari prepares to compete in the 1957 Mille Miglia. Adam Driver portrays the titular subject, and Penélope Cruz, Shailene Woodley, Sarah Gadon, Gabriel Leone, Jack O'Connell, and Patrick Dempsey all co-star. Ferrari was selected to compete for the Golden Lion at the 80th Venice International Film Festival, premiering on the 31st of August 2023. The film was originally set to premiere on the streaming service Showtime, but was eventually released in the United States theatrically on December 25th, 2023 by Neon. The film grossed $43 million worldwide and received generally positive reviews from critics. It was named one of the top 10 films of 2023 by the National Board of Review. Director Michael Mann first began exploring making the film around 2000, having discussed the project with Sidney Pollack. Mann had been developing a script with writer Troy Kennedy Martin, who died in 2009. Mann was offered $40 million to make the film, but refused because he thought that budget was not enough. In August 2015, Christian Bale entered negotiations to star as Ferrari. Filming was planned to begin in summer of 2016 in Italy. In October 2015, Paramount Pictures bought the worldwide distribution rights for the film. Bale exited the film in January 2016 over concerns of meeting the weight of requirements for the role before starting production. The project stalled until April of 2017 when Hugh Jackman entered negotiations to portray Ferrari and Naomi Rapace as his wife, with Paramount no longer involved. The project would again go dormant in June 2020. Mann and Jackman were still attached, but Rapace was no longer involved, with STX Entertainment holding international distribution. In February 2022, Jackman had since left the film, with Adam Driver now starring as Ferrari. Penélope Cruz and Shailene Woodley also joined the cast. Driver was cast due to his performances in Logan Lucky: A Marriage Story. Mann, Driver and Cruz reduced their salaries for the film. STX Entertainment agreed to finance 70% of the budget and also acquire the North American distribution rights. The rest of the financing came from the Italian tax credit and private investors. Pre-production began in April of 2022, with filming originally set to commence in July in Modena. Just a quick background on the real Enzo Anselmo Giuseppe Maria Ferrari. He was born on the 18th of February 1898 and died on the 14th of August 1988. He was an Italian motor racing driver and entrepreneur and the founder of the Scuderia Ferrari Grand Prix motor racing team and subsequently of the Ferrari automobile marque. He was widely known as Il Commendatore or Il Drake. In his final years, he was often referred to as Il Ingegnere, the engineer, or Il Grande Vecchio, the grand old man. Some interesting trivia notes. For insurance reasons, Adam Driver wasn't permitted to drive any of the original classic race cars. Co-star Patrick Dempsey drove replicas of the open-topped cars, which offered no protection to the exposed drivers. Due to the high death toll among drivers and spectators, the 1957 Mille Miglia was the last in the original format. There had been 56 known deaths in 24 runnings from 1927 to 1939 and 1947 to 1957, with 35 in the last 10 years as the cars got faster. A safer version was held from 1958 to 1961, and then the Mille Miglia was permanently cancelled. Both Ferrari and Maserati cars are painted red. Though confusing for the viewer, this is historically accurate. At the time of the film is set, cars were coloured according to nationality. Italian cars were red, French ones were blue, German ones were white, and British ones were dark green. Patrick Dempsey lost all of his hair while bleaching it white for the role of Piero Taruffi, the eventual winner of the 1957 Mille Miglia. He had stated in an interview that his hair fell out and left him with a halo on top of his head. He admitted that he should have opted for a wig instead of bleaching it. Enzo Ferrari had a soft spot for certain Pininfarina-designed French cars. His daily drivers were usually Peugeot sedans from the late 1950s to the 1970s. Sterling Moss in the film is portrayed by Ben Collins. Collins was the second Stig in Top Gear, the mysterious tame racing driver who set fast laps. Patrick Dempsey is the owner of Dempsey Racing, competing in the Tudor United Racing Series, co-owner of the Vision Racing in the IndyCar Series, and competed in the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona sports car race and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He has competition licenses which allow him to drive a wide variety of cars, up to and including prototypes, the highest class of car in the American Le Mans Series. Derek Hill, who plays Jean Barra in the movie, is the son of Phil Hill, a Ferrari Formula One world champion and the first American to win the world championship in 1961. In 1957, Enzo Ferrari was 59 years old. Adam Driver was 39 years old at the point of filming. Laura Ferrari was 56 in the same year, while Penélope Cruz was 48 during filming. The actor who plays the real-life racing driver Alfonso de Portago, Gabriel Leone, also stars as Ayrton Senna, the three-time Formula One world champion, in the 2024 film Senna. Adam Driver is slightly taller than the real Enzo Ferrari. Ferrari was 6'1.5", while Adam Driver is 6'2.5". In the gruesome portrayal of the aftermath of the crash, there is a corpse shown split in half. Alfonso de Portago's navigator, Edmund Nelson, was in fact cut in half as a result of the crash. Portago's corpse was trapped under the vehicle that was half submerged in the drainage trench. The final kiss between Alfonso de Portago and Linda Christian was captured on film by a photographer who remains anonymous. It was dubbed the kiss of death by the Italian press. Linda later claimed that the strange look on her face was due to a premonition. I had a strange sensation with that kiss. It was cold, and it caused me to look for the first time at Nelson, seated behind him. He seemed like a mummy, grey, ashen, almost as if he was mesmerized. He had the eyes of someone who had suffered an enormous shock. In an interview with Life magazine on April 9, 1956, Alfonso de Portago stated, "I will not die of an accident. I will die of old age and be executed in a gross miscarriage of justice." Sadly, he died in a crash towards the end of the 1957 Mille Miglia. It was caused by a tyre blowout and killed 9 spectators as well. He was driving the renowned Ferrari 335S when he crashed near the village of Guerzello with a tyre burst whilst driving along a dead straight road at 240 kilometers an hour. He was just 28 at the time. Enzo is often shown at times wearing tinted glasses throughout the movie. In real life, Enzo Ferrari wore tinted glasses for the rest of his life after the death of his son, Dino, who died in 1956 at the age of 24 due to muscular dystrophy. As shown in the film, his other son, Piero Lardi, now Ferrari, would go on to inherit 10% of the Ferrari business, giving him an estimated worth of $7.2 billion. Piero's mother, Leni Lardi, had met Enzo in the late 1930s when she was working at a coach builder company in Modena. The two began a romantic affair soon after, and their son Piero was born on the 22nd of May, 1945. Enzo and Lena continued their relationship until Ferrari's death in 1988. As the divorce was illegal in Italy until 1975, Piero could not be acknowledged as a Ferrari family member until the death of Enzo's estranged wife, Laura, on the 27th of February 1978. In 1990, he legally changed his name to Piero Ferrari. Now, I found this to be an absolutely superb film. I'm somewhat skeptical going into historical biopics, as often Hollywood likes to veer too far away from what actually happened and over-dramatize the facts, as it were. Look, firstly, Michael Mann is a superb director. And what I like, though, particularly with this film, is that he chooses only to focus on 1 year of Enzo Ferrari's life. Enzo was an incredibly complicated, nuanced and layered man. It would have been too difficult to make a 2-hour movie about his whole life. So instead, they just focus on 1 year. A year that was, of course, particularly groundbreaking within the great man's life. Firstly, the performances here are absolutely excellent. Penélope Cruz turns out a stunning performance here as the jaded, disgruntled wife, Laura Ferrari. She's a mother who has recently lost her son. Her husband constantly is sleeping around behind her back, and naturally her anger and despair have taken over. It's a superb performance from this veteran actress. Driver's performance is good, although somewhat very unemotional, but I think that's kind of the point. Ferrari comes across very self-absorbed, determined, almost cruel at times. And there's one scene in the film where he sort of shows his vulnerability, which I thought Driver somewhat battled with a bit. It's the scene, of course, where he goes to visit Dino's grave, and Driver sort of battles with the emotion in the scene, where I feel Cruz just gets it absolutely on point. In saying that, Driver's performance is very good. He shows you how cold, ruthless and determined Ferrari was, and in many ways that's how you have to be, particularly in the unrelenting world of the motor industry and motor racing. As Ferrari points out in one point of the film, when he lost his friends early on in his life, he had to build a wall, otherwise he'd never get through the day. Piero Ferrari has noted various elements in the film did not, according to him, reflect accurately on the facts. But for me, based on my research, I feel this film is actually quite factual. Personally, I would have liked to have seen Ferrari's involvement more in, say, Formula One, as that's such a big part of the Marquis brand. But in the same breath, though, covering the 1957 Mille Miglia, which was of course so controversial, and led to the untimely death, of course, of Alfonso de Portago in a most horrific crash where he killed 9 spectators, of course lends itself to the true drama that this film wants to cover and portray. I myself am a massive motor racing fan, so of course reliving some of these old cars, seeing some of the old names like Sterling Moss, Peter Collins and Wolfgang von Trips was just a real pleasure. And overall, I feel this really sort of captured the essence of this very complicated story and paid tribute rather than bended the truth too far. Some people also criticised that it should have been Italians playing these characters rather than American actors, but frankly I'm just glad that the film got made, and of course made quite accurately and well. With its fantastic attention to detail, excellent performances from the cast, wonderful direction here from Michael Mann, Ferrari pays homage to the classic brand's early beginnings without covering it in too much glory. Ferrari gets a 9 out of 10.